Well, hello, everyone. My name is Jeff Pratt. I am the Commerce Practice Director at Verndale, and I'd like to welcome you today to our discussion about a new digital commerce paradigm, the sweet spot that most brands are missing. Specifically, we're going to talk today about the evolving opportunity that you as brand managers have to meet not only your own brand needs, but also those needs of your end customers and your channel partners, and taking advantage of some of the new evolution of technology that can be brought up underneath your larger brand marketing systems. For those of you who may not be familiar with Verndale, we are a customer experience agency with offices across North America. We're headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts. And since we were established over 25 years ago, we've consistently worked with leading brands in both the consumer product sector as well as in the B2B, more industrial markets, really devising digital strategies, commerce strategies, design solutions, UX solutions, and ultimately building out technology to deliver those capabilities across all sorts of channels and complex delivery models. Throughout those years, there's a few things we've sort of really come to hold as true and really have driven out our sort of core point of view on how to approach these discussions with our clients. And one of those, really just put quite simply, is that brands win when they know their customers best. And there's certainly been evolution as to the manner in which you know your customer best. But those brands that are really rapidly focused on understanding who their customers are, capturing proof points, data, direct customer feedback, and really taking clear action against that type of feedback. We really see that as a common link as to what drives success within brands. So really it's in the digital paradigm particularly, we see this occurring when the brands can really take control and deliver a holistic, complete brand experience. And by that, we're referring to not only the top of funnel brand awareness and interest, but also staying with the customer and driving out a brand experience all the way through the funnel, through purchase, and ultimately through post-purchase engagement and product usage. That's sort of that holistic view that we see most effective. Also, as I mentioned a minute ago, data is really key. So brands that experience and can sort of build on actual data and actual customer experience to try to drive things to the next level are those that really know their customers best and are able to sort of meet that end customer expectation and surpass. Another area has to do with operations, and this is particularly when we get down into the sort of purchase fulfillment and service and delivery, that a lot of brands that are limited by historical or legacy relationships and don't have the ability to get beyond their sort of operational limitations are not as successful. And so when we see brands really able to prioritize their end customers' holistic experience beyond any operational limitations, that's absolutely a place that we see brands differentiate and establish that more strong and intimate relationship with their customers. And lastly, the evolution of the brand perspective on things, it really has to do with technology. Technology historically might have been viewed as an expense or sort of the domain of IT, and it wasn't something brands were particularly concerned about. But these days, we see leading brands viewing technology as a brand asset, and the capabilities that drives forward, as really being something that the brand, the marketing, and the really whole organization has a concern and stake in, not just IT, for example. So again, it's really when the experience, aligns to the data and the data-driven capabilities and understanding of the customer, when experience sort of, trumps operations and delivers that end experience as the end customer would ultimately prefer, and where technology can become a brand asset, that we see the ultimate winning and ultimate strength of brands in this current market. So we'd like to sort of peel that back a little bit deeper with you as we jump forward into the following slides. So to jump down into this a little bit further, we wanted to just sort of get level set for a minute around, a basic model. This is a simple visual model that we often use. And in this model, you can see here that we're calling out, the brand on the left, you've got resellers and retailers or distributors, resellers of some sort in the middle, and end customers all the way to the right. And really, I think one of the challenges and opportunities that brands are experiencing today is really about how to engage that end customer, not just go in sort of a traditional sort of push way through their reseller channels, but go all the way to the end customer, drive awareness, understanding, and demand, and then, you know, being able to choose and let the customer choose the best way to sort of fulfill the purchasing and product engagement from there. So three of the core ways that we're seeing take shape you know, on this sort of brand and consumer engagement. One is really the direct-to-consumer, D2C, as it's often referred. And that's a very compelling model where the brand is, you know, is directly engaged with the end customer all the way through the purchase cycle, whether they have company stores or e-commerce capabilities. You know, is a very interesting model and very compelling for a lot of end customers and brands. Another more digitally driven disruption of the last number of years is around traditional marketplaces, the most obvious, of course, being Amazon, where, you know, digital only paradigm has been injected with a laser focus on the needs of the end customer, standardizing that experience across any of a number of product categories, and really has raised the bar on an awful lot of the end customers' expectations for all types of digital and brand engagement. And the last type of you know, ways to engage that we wanted to highlight was really this channel partners and referral model, B to C to B, you know, it's often referred to, where for whatever reason a brand may not go it alone with the D2C model. They may not be comfortable working through that marketplace model, and they may you know, really be all about driving that end customer awareness and of their product back into their reseller and channel partners. So to talk about each one of these, you know, real quickly, first of all, the D2C, and if we sort of put this up against those four primary areas of competence, really, which is, you know, who's driving the experience, how's the data being captured and leveraged, how is the operational capabilities being met and to the end customer expectation, and what sort of technology platform is being developed around it. You know, you can see here that D2C is really, you know, getting high marks both with the end customer and also with the brand. And this is a very compelling model, as I said earlier, but for some brands, it's not operationally viable. Maybe they're not set up to deliver you know, single items type of thing, and they also are sort of introducing channel conflict or missing out on the value add of regional channel partners. But for those whom it's right for, you know, it can be a very interesting model, and it certainly meets the needs of both the brand and the end customer. The other we talked about briefly is the Amazon/traditional marketplace model, where, you know, the marketplace injects as a central brand relationship with the end customer. Again, focusing on those end customer needs, making sure those needs are being met. That's great for the end customer point of view. The brand relationship is all about the marketplace's brand having the right relationship, the right data, the right operational alignment with that end customer. And one of the challenges with this model for many product brands as well as resellers of brands is that their larger brand equity and brand relationship development is subservient to that of the marketplace. So it certainly gets the job done in terms of having product visible and selling products, maybe hitting revenue goals, that type of thing. But it really isn't giving the brand experience and capturing the data and developing the technology footprint that's going to be the long range development of a brand relationship with that end customer. So interesting, but really sort of leaving a few areas shy from the brand's point of view and certainly the reseller's point of view as well. You know, what a lot of brands are really sort of focused on is that the channel partner referral model is really the right model for them, because D2C and ultimately marketplace models are not meeting their needs. And at the end of the day, you know, these companies are perhaps aligning to an operational reality that they can't sell individual products to end customers. They need to sort of break bulk and get down to the reseller level. Maybe that product requires value-added services such as installation or post-sale support that reseller provides. And it could also very well be that it's more about channel conflict concerns or channel complexity concerns, where the digital, while it's important, may only be a small piece of the overarching relationship that brand has with those channel partners. And what they don't want to do is introduce that as a form of tension or reduction of that relationship. If anything, they want to sort of double down on it and drive more digital leads and more digital interest into those channels so that they can optimize their overarching business goals. So it certainly is the most challenging to get right, but it's the most rewarding for those brands whom channel partners are the right answer. So to sort of illustrate this from a user experience point of view and capabilities perspective, I've just picked DeWalt here, which is a fairly well-known consumer product. In this case, I grabbed a screw gun. And once you're at this page, obviously you're following the brand's direction. You want to buy now. So here we are. We're going to engage in that buy now motion. In this case, they have one of these referral platforms that will throw you some options. So I'll go over here. I will take a look and see what's happening at Acme Tools. And here's my product. Here's reviews, some of that lower sort of purchasing kind of data, price, availability, delivery options, picking up if I want to. Interesting. But again, I'm now not sure if I've got the right and best deal. So maybe I need to, think about going back to the DeWalt list and maybe trying a different dealer. Just sort of, this is me trying to shop and get the right program. So I'll go to Ace Tools this time, which would be great. So I go to Ace Tools, only now what I'm going to find is, they said it was in stock, but now between the retailer and the referral platform, the data didn't translate accurately, and so actually it's not in stock. So now I'm back ordered for 7 to 10 days. So again, just not a great brand experience, and pushing a fair amount of the the shopping onus back onto the end customer to figure this out. So not ideal. And I think leaving questions really in that end customer's mind at the end of the day. So if we look at that model in a sort of more abstracted view, you can see here at the top that DeWalt has got the brand site driving the awareness, the interest, product presentation, a lot of that branded content. That's great. And when it hits where to buy, that's when the brand is sort of directing the user off to some sort of reseller or retailer for the actual shopping experience, the comparison, the receipt of the kind of commercial information around pricing, availability, delivery, that type of thing. And what we talk about in this model is just to really, watch out for that brand experience gap that gets created at this point. Because the user sailing along with DeWalt and really happy with what they're seeing and sort of migrating and having a great affinity towards that brand is all of a sudden being brought to a referral platform, then out to different reseller sites, which is a different experience. There's not a lot of continuity from where they came as to where they ended up. And at this point, a lot of the data, the shopping data, the conversion points are all being captured and sort of digested within the reseller site, not the brand site. So if the user at that point is sort of back and forth to different resellers, it really is creating a bit of a disjointed experience, and they're really not getting the same level of cohesion among that overarching brand experience. So not bad, but not sort of holding up to that sort of ultimate expectation as we saw, for example, in the marketplace and D2C model. So against our little sort of checkmark scoreboard here, you can see that the end customer experience is not bad, but it really isn't all that it could be in terms of continuity of experience, really making sure that the data and investment they put into the shopping experience is being leveraged and optimized to sort of surface any and all options to them, making it as easy to use as possible. Operationally, by getting into the reseller, swim lane. That could be interesting because it's sort of, sort of coming close to the operational delivery model. But at the end of the day, the technology isn't holistic and complete. So the end customer is left with a basically okay experience, but not really that compelling. On the other side of this chart, the brand, which started out with some experience, control and some aspect of collecting data, that's interesting. But at the point in time that they transferred that over to a referral platform and or a reseller, they've lost an awful lot of visibility on that customer. They've lost a lot of control of that experience, and the brand doesn't really get what they want. So it's interesting. It does check the box of directing the end customer to where they could find that, but it puts a lot of onus on the end customer, and the brand doesn't really get what they want, and the end customer kind of really doesn't get what they want or would ideally expect in this modern day of digital experience. So it's really with an understanding of those sort of prior three models, so the three primary ways that brands are currently engaging, that we at Verndale have seen the evolution into this additional trend that we're seeing, which is towards what we're referring to as reverse channel marketplace option. And in this option, we're seeing that the brands can really have their sort of cake and eat it too, as it relates to bringing the best of all worlds forward from the end customer experience point of view, leveraging pieces of the D2C capability, the optimal marketplace capabilities, and at the same time, fully including and in fact driving business value into their relationship with channel partners. So to sort of spell that out a little bit more explicitly, the reverse channel marketplace option sort of grabs the best of D2C when it provides sort of a holistic, easy to use, all-encompassing brand experience, through and including conversion to purchase, and also captures the data around that, so it drives an increasingly intelligent and responsive, preference-oriented experience. And lastly, it sort of secures that deeper understanding for ongoing improvement and better targeting and capability. From a marketplace point of view, marketplaces have a lot of flexibility by being able to decouple product delivery and fulfillment from the actual purchase commitment, right? And so we'll talk through that in a minute as to what that looks like, but that's really something that the reverse channel marketplace, and you have the ability to offer dynamic options and capture user feedback so that you're able to sort of produce the best options and again, a kind of comprehensive overview of those options to your user. And then, of course, the last area has to do with the brands driving out value within the channel referral relationships and partnerships. In this model, the brands are going to continue to fulfill through these partnerships, driving revenue and confirmed committed orders to those partners, avoiding anything to do with channel conflict or channel tension, in fact, making this an asset in that core relationship. And also, driving out an alignment to larger operational efficiencies that are currently driving the sort of breadth of the business that the brand would have going with those channel partners. So we'll step down, now into a little bit more detail as to what this is and how we think this could be, applicable for today's brands. To illustrate this, we just picked an example here. There are a few that we found. One here is 3M, which is, of course, has a very broad product line and global distribution. So as an end user, if I want to buy a zero gas cylinder from 3M, that's great. I would pick it out, select the one I want, get down to the product detail page where I could sort of look through, more brand information. Again, the type of detail and spec information that a lot of B2B buyers would be very focused on. And this looks good. This is what I want. So I want to view my buying options, similar motion that we saw earlier. Only now in the more reverse channel context, I've got actual choices in front of me that are informed by real distribution options, right? So I've got my zip code, which is bringing several different distributors as options, the specifics of their pricing, of their availability, of their delivery options are coming as part of this presentation and putting an awful lot of information and comparative information like at my fingertips, keeping in mind I'm still on the brand site. So if I want to add to cart or buy now, I can do that. Here's that confirmation. confirming, very similar to what the experience would be in a marketplace type model. They're used to this. So if we use that same abstracted model here that we used a minute ago for the channel referral, you'll see that the brand site actually goes much deeper than it did in the previous model. The brand is holding not only the awareness, the interest, presentation of the where to buy, but also by holding the product detail information down to the actual PDP. The brand is then able to present the reseller or retailer commercial data that's relevant, for availability, price, and delivery in that context, like we just saw with 3M. The interesting thing about that is that the brand is still in charge of the site, capturing the data and the conversion of that event. And as you can see here on the right, there's all sorts of information about how the customer's behaving, how they're acting, shopping, comparing, their preferences, their profiles. They're all now happening under one umbrella on the brand site, and really putting that brand in a position to drive a much stronger relationship. It's still going to then deliver to the end reseller that confirmed order for fulfillment and service and support. So the reseller is still getting that strong revenue bump and brand relationship, but the brand has sort of remained in control and in context of a lot more depth in that in that data perspective. So if we go back to our model here, where looking at the channel marketplace, reverse channel marketplace sort of overview, you can see we're back in the green zone relative to all these check marks. The customer has got the experience. They're sort of building on the data all the way through their cycle of brand engagement and path to purchase. They're aligned to operations because again, the brand is pulling the operational reality from the given resellers and presenting that. And at the end of the day, all that technology footprint is being built up underneath the end customer's account and experience. So that's a very positive kind of end game and overall experience for that end customer. All the way to the other side, the brand is certainly getting all green check marks as well, as they're able to control and drive that experience. They can capture the data, really understand and build on their customer behavior and shopping experience, making sure also that they're understanding and aligning to operational realities with their resellers, or in some cases, other channels or even their own D2C. And of course, all of that is about building technology as a sort of core asset underneath it all. The reseller, while they don't have quite as many check boxes here, the reseller fundamentally is getting what they want out of this brand relationship, which is they're getting confirmed orders from end customers who would have been on the brand site. They may or may not have gotten otherwise. These orders are confirmed, they're dropped in, and they're able to sort of align to their operational excellence and deliver and fulfill that order and ultimately sort of develop that end customer relationship. So we really see this as sort of an optimal model to drive out the needs of the brand and customer in the best possible way, keeping the reseller fully in focus. So because Verndale is at core a technology company, we do a lot of strategy work and design work. But at the end of the day, we also build and deliver these solutions. So it isn't just sort of hypothetical. It's actual work that we deliver for our clients. So this is a quick slide to just talk about sort of how the reverse marketplace model can be achieved. At the outset, many of our brand customers, and when we initiate these discussions, they already have existing content management, digital asset management systems. Some of them have gone over into more experience-driven systems around, whether it's a DXP, digital experience platform, CDP for data analysis, and personalization, marketing automation. All these systems are in play within these brand managers and marketers so that they can really understand and sort of do the best at the top of funnel around interest and awareness. But where the extension needs to be focused is as the brand wants to really assert itself deeper into the funnel and be present and sort of orchestrate the experience between its end customers and its resellers and retailers. The brand needs to be thinking about how to sort of drive that brand experience further and capture all these important components. And that's where the Sitecore OrderCloud platform, we're so excited about that here at Verndale, in the way that that can, as an API first different driven platform, be a commerce engine that sort of comes into play, fits into the content management and experience management platforms that many of the brands would already have in place, and can, through APIs, reach out and extract from the resellers the appropriate information, the commercial information around availability, price, delivery, that's necessary to present that to the customer, and at the same time, drive the orders, confirmed orders, back into the resellers for ultimately fulfillment and successful delivery. So, we're not going to go into detail here on the technology side of it, but just to say this is sort of a high level sort of view towards how the architecture of this system is achieved. And it's really going to give you, as a brand manager, marketer, the ability to extend and supplement your kind of core platform capabilities with this extended commerce relationship, bringing the end customer and the reseller into total focus on this overarching brand capability. So that represents the overview of the reverse channel marketplace that we wanted to cover today. We hope you found today's discussion interesting, thought-provoking, and hopefully relevant to problems that you're trying to to sort out in your brand evolution. And we certainly feel that this is something that we're going to see a lot more of in the coming years. And we at Verndale would love to have the opportunity to explore this further with you, and happy to really invest some time on our side to really making this real and the understanding of this more real for you. So to that end, we have 3 proposed next steps that you could take advantage of to explore this more explicitly with us for your particular brand and situation. The first of that would be to talk with us about setting up a demo of what we're referring to as the art of the possible. Verndale has created a sort of full interactive demo showing the OrderCloud product in the context of other marketing and brand marketing systems. And it's a really sort of full overview that would really bring to light how this sort of could work in in a sort of hypothetical demo. And I think that could be really helpful for you to reach out and just sort of have that understanding as you consider the application for your brands. The other thing that would be potentially be helpful would be to do sort of a baseline understanding of your current platforms and the manner in which Sitecore OrderCloud might be able to be brought up underneath those and drive out this type of reverse channel marketplace option. So we'd be happy to have that discussion with you, talk a little bit about your kind of existing platform and technology, and then give you a more clear view as to how you could move that forward into the more robust and capable user experience and brand capabilities that we just outlined. And then the last thing would be to talk through, from more of a brand and visual design experience level, again, this visualization of how your brand could benefit and bring to life this type of experience for your customers, but also for your channel partners. So if you'd like to explore that a little bit, we'd be happy to have that conversation and ultimately maybe head towards a POC or some sort of visualization that would help you pivot to your business and really sort of set a clear understanding for how this might be most applicable to you. So, as a friend of mine used to say, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. We here at Verndale feel that this reverse channel marketplace paradigm that we just overviewed is a very, very strong opportunity for today's brand managers and marketers to really supplement their current capabilities and meet the needs of that end customer while also driving more relationship value and ultimately stickiness back into those channel partners that are so critically important. Reminder that brands win when they know their customers best. And from the experience, the data, the operational alignment, and technology as a brand asset, this model is going to let you know your customers best. It's going to let you know not only the end customer, but also know your channel partner as a customer, and really blend and meld those capabilities together to optimize the overarching experience, not only for today, but also positioning yourself for the long term, for tomorrow, when this fast-moving digital market may take yet another turn. You don't have to necessarily be re-engineering yourself to be thinking of it. So reminder, my name is Jeff Pratt. I am the Commerce Practice Director here at Verndale. We have a lot of experience and passion here at Verndale that could be brought to bear on your specific situations. We really hope you'll take us up on a few of those next steps that we put forward, and we'll have a chance to talk to you about your brand and your specific needs going forward. Okay? Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Bye now.